Okay, it's time for our insight, and this week we have Gina Jackson, our very own copywriter from Right Here, Right Now. Gina, over to you. I'll set a time for 8 minutes, then when you hear it ring, you've got 2 minutes left.
Thank you very much. I will. I think this is 8 minutes, so I'll talk less. So this is my insight for this week. Thank you very much for bearing with me while I did some bits. So why exposure doesn't pay my bills and other self-employed problems. So this is just what has happened over the past 3 years since I've been in business, and why I love my job, but I don't love some of the people that I have to speak to. So over the last 3 years, I've created my business and been involved with hundreds of conversations with potential and them clients that have gone on to use me. Some of them have been very productive and I've managed to convert those into actual clients. Some were awful, and this presentation will give you a few insights into why. I have many conversations where I speak to people and they're like, oh, can you do my copywriting for me and I'll bake you a cake? That won't pay my mortgage. Like, yeah, you're a great baker, but that's not going to help me. Or they'll say, you can write me 17 blogs in a week, which won't happen. And I'll just share them and put your name all over them, and that'll give you loads of exposure, and there'll be loads of people that want to use you. Again, exposure doesn't pay my mortgage. I'll put you all over social media and you'll get businesses that way. I have over 5,000 followers. What do you do for you? If you can pay my mortgage, that'd be better. Thank you. I get asked a lot of the time what I do and don't do. As a copywriter, people think that I do all sorts of random different things. I can do, but I choose not to. That's why I've spun it into being a blog agency with case studies, because case studies and blogs go really well together. You can convert either one into the other one. So it works really well. And I do get a lot of people saying, can you do me a blog of this case study? And vice versa. We need to do a case study, but we've got the blog testimonial of it. So what do I not do? I don't organise your emails. I don't even organise my own, so I'm not going to do yours. I can write email sequences. I can do email scripts and email marketing, but it's not my favourite thing to do, and I'd prefer not to. However, because more virtual assistants are also copywriters and will do your blogs for you, there is the confusion that because I'm a copywriter, I'm automatically a virtual assistant. I'm not. I'm very organised, but I'm not going to organise you. Unless it's your content strategy, and then I'll organise that. I don't help track conversion rates and sales. I can't do that. I know how to do it, I just don't want to. I'm not a digital marketer, not yet. I am doing a course, but that's not what I do. It's not part of my business. I know plenty of people who can do that for you, or you can use Google Analytics. I have done GA4 training, so I know how to do it, and I can point you in the right direction of other people who are much more qualified to do it than me. I don't animate or create videos. Again, a lot of jobs out there at the minute and freelance gigs are asking for people who can use Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Create and Canva video and can create animations and this and that and the other. I'm a writer. I'm no good with art. I can't draw to save my life. Don't it? I can use Canva for my Instagram. Canva is my best friend for my Instagram and my LinkedIn posts. But hire a videographer or an animator if you want to do something properly, and don't work on a budget. If you've not got the budget for something, you're better off just not doing it in the first place, because otherwise it will look rubbish and you'll end up paying more to do it later. And I don't provide free work, unfortunately. I have done in the past. I do a lot of work for charities where I used to do 3 months for free. But that's when I had a partner who worked for a digital marketing agency and was bringing in money. So I could work for free when I wanted to. I can't do that. I can work at a discounted rate for charities, and I do. I have a charity on board now that I have a discount for. And they're really, really good, but they are aware that it can go up after 3 months, and it probably will. But yeah, otherwise I need payment in cash. Direct debit or Stripe are available. So I've spent a full day. This is something that happens quite a lot, where I do a full piece of work for a client. I've done a full project. I've sent it to them and they come back and the feedback comes in. I don't like it. So they've skim read the copy, or they've had somebody else read it and summarize it. They don't like it. It's totally wrong. I've gone off the brief, or, you know, the brief was fine, but now they've reread it and they don't like it. I've tweaked it a bit. I don't like you tweaking it on your own. If I'm honest, if you're gonna have amendments, please let me know and I will happily amend whatever you want. But when I see people in my Google Docs, anonymous fox or anonymous badger typing away, I'm like, get out my document, that's mine. I'm not precious about my work, but if there's something that I can help with, you do get 2 rounds of edits per blog. Just tell me, even if you think it's a simple word tweak, it could mean a difference between how your tone of voice reads and how I interpret your tone of voice. So just let me know. Can you add in more keywords? Probably not. Keyword stuffing never works. SEO is a finely balanced system. Google is cutting down a lot on how many keywords you have in your blogs and your web copy, because they are obviously cracking down on AI, and AI does keyword stuff. So if you ask me to put in more keywords and it doesn't make any sense, I'm going to say no. It has to sound like it's from a human. It always will be. I don't use AI for my writing. So you won't get to see if you're going to keyword stuff and every sentence has your keyword in it. It's going to look stupid. And obviously my favourite type of feedback is that the client loves it, or that they're really pleased with it, that, you know, their bosses really like it and something, or they're just, you know, a lot of my clients don't ever get back to me on feedback, which is the best type of feedback, because it's like they obviously like it and don't need anything. And then I see it on their website 2 weeks later and I'm like, oh yeah, they did like it. That's fine, not a problem. Constructive feedback is great if the tone of voice is wrong, or I've missed something in the brief, or I've misinterpreted the brief in some way. But the best type of feedback is when my client wants to copy and is happy, and therefore I can send my invoice. Yes, I get, especially now that my blog packages are set pricing now and I don't have project prices as such. I get told a lot that I'm too expensive. I have been a ridiculously cheap freelancer. I have done blogs for £50 and they've taken me 3 days. £50 for 3 days work. I wouldn't get that even if I was in full-time employment. So yeah, I have been that ridiculously cheap freelancer. I've changed my pricing numerous times. That's just over the past 18 months, but it is 3 years, and some conversations have gone in my favour. Sometimes though, this happens. I want to do 4 blogs a month, all surrounding social media with loads of extracts. Topics are complex. You can do the research and it has to be set out. Okay, that's part of my retainer. So it's 4 blogs a month will now be including all the value that I give, like the calls, the content strategy, the extracts for social media, everything else that I do, plus case studies. Your rate is this. That's too expensive. I'm looking at 35 quid a blog. Well, that's not me. That's the price of one of my friends' one social media post that one of my friends does. You'll never get business like that. Good luck, I'll go on Fiverr. And I have had, this is a real conversation that somebody had with me. They went on Fiverr, they got a blog for £10 for 1,500 words, came back to me 3 weeks later and signed on for 6 months. So this is a team, sorry, there's a big gap missing because I just had to delete Craig's face. So there's a big gap in the middle. So this is my team, this is me, obviously, and my little boy. And Callum has his own desk in my office now, so he can pretend that he's helping. I have his work, his writing all over my office. I have a blog here that he wrote about playing football and being a team. So that's, I might have to use that, tweak it and use it on my webpage. Callum is now 7, and yeah, he loves to write, he loves spelling. He's always asking me to throw in words that he can spell in Tesco, and I asked for sausages the other day and he didn't have a clue how to spell sausages, so I was like, I think we need to work on this. But he can spell immediately. Weird. I can't spell immediately and I'm a writer. And yeah, so there's my contact. They're all the same as they have been previously, but if you ever want to chat, even if it's, you know, I know that what I do can be quite expensive, but like I said, the blogs for the hotel have meant that they are booked out for nearly a year, and my comped room keeps getting sold and I'm annoyed because I want to stay in London and I can't afford to because I can't go anywhere. But even, you know, I am happy 1Ners and all my network friends get 10% discount, which doesn't happen for anybody else. So even if you refer somebody onto me, they don't get that discount. It is the full price. But it all just means that, you know, they're getting value for money. My packages have been worked with web developers, social media managers, digital marketers to make sure that I'm getting the best value for people and that they're getting exactly what they need per month without it being in-house. Yes, it's probably more expensive than being in-house over 6 months, but they're getting the value that an in-house copywriter probably won't be able to provide, because they'll get a bit bored after a while. I've been an in-house copywriter, can be a little bit boring at times. So yes, that is me. I am Gina from Right Here, Right Now. And if you want to chat, just let me know. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Gina. Thank you. Great presentation there. I like the honesty. I like how you've really brought it to life from these are the scenarios that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, and it really echoes and it fits really well with some of the conversations that we've been having. I think about Caris's 1 minute where she talked about the client that decided to do their own thing in the end. There are so many similarities that we can all learn from.
Absolutely.
And all learn from each other because we all have those similar experiences. Peter's talking about insolvency practitioners as well. So brilliant stuff.
And it's what I was going to put in the chat earlier and then I took out because it was relevant here. We're talking a lot about, we've had a lot of chat recently about personal blogs, and James has written one about his marathon and Susie wrote one about the transition from England to Spain to Greece, sorry. I've written personal blogs for years. I've got my own personal blog. I've had it for nearly 11 years now. Very rarely gets looked at by me, certainly. But if you have a business, you should always have a news page that has industry news. It can be taken from BBC. Like BBC don't care if you basically copy and paste their work. That's what it's there for. As long as you tell people that you picked it from a news article, then they're fine. But then also having a blog page where you can put company news, that can be any news. So it can be promotions, somebody doing a marathon, somebody moving house. It can be literally anything, as long as it can relate back to your business and you can put a keyword or 3 in the blog, you'll still get seen and you'll still be seen as an industry leader. And it also means that you are looking more human to people. So I see a lot of blogs, certainly for financial institutions and legal professions, where it's literally just industry news or this has happened and that's happened and the world is on fire. And then I wrote for a solicitor about 1.5 years ago and I said, how about we put in some good news stories in the mix of all the shit that there is in the world? And 3 people had just passed their solicitor exams. And I said, let's put that on the blog, get some photos, get a little quote, do it. And they had over 1,500 visits to their website just from that, because they put it, I did extracts for them on LinkedIn, I did extracts for them on Facebook, Twitter was a thing then, so that was on. And they got loads and loads of views and clients, because clients were like, oh, they're really training, they really want to know people, like they're human, their solicitors are human beings and they want to do well. So it really helps having, yes, industry and company news and making sure that it's all relevant, but having personal blogs about your promotions, people have done something nice for somebody, charity work, anything like that, mix it in, make it as part of your content strategy, and you will get seen, your rankings will go up.
Excellent. Susie, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I mean, my one that I've shared here, that it's an adventure, because we said that I don't know how many times on the trip over. I actually shared that on the local Kefalonia groups because it is a more personal one, and I actually gained a new client as a result, because they had an interest in Kefalonia, so obviously there was that relatability and everything straight away. But it also happened that they happened to be looking for somebody at the time. I was doing Facebook as well, and they were looking for somebody to do their Facebook content, and I actually gained a new customer purely by that blog, which was a more personal one.
Exactly. The personal ones do better because
the personal posts on social media tend to do better as well, because
you're seen as
people
human.
are more likely to interact because they don't feel you're going to jump on them and try and sell to them.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you so much for that. And great to hear more about you and your business and how it's grown and changed, and how your pricing strategy has changed as well. And actually, it seems the right thing to do. And that's an interesting, that a case study in itself could be a blog. So yeah, thanks for sharing. Brilliant.
No worries, thank you.
Just conscious of time. Sorry, Susie, go on.
I just have one quick question. What would you say is the average length a standard blog should be? Because you hear so many different things.
If it's an SEO only blog, so it's only there to have keywords in it and put you at the rankings, which I don't agree with and I won't do, they are between 400 and 500 words. If you want, you can have long form blogs, which can be up to 2,000 words, especially if it's industry knowledge. You're trying to be a thought leader. Thought leadership pieces are between 2,000 and 2,500. I would very rarely see a blog any longer than that. Standard blogs that I do are between 1,000 and 1,500 words, give or take. And they seem to be the better performing ones. Google likes a long form blog that has 8 to 10 keywords per blog. You don't want any more than, I would say 15 keywords in a 1,500 word piece is your limit. Like 15 separate keywords, and you can repeat them keywords as many times as you like, really, as long as you're not stuffing. But 15 separate keywords are 10% of, like, but 1%, sorry, the keywords is that, and then everything else is actually industry knowledge.